Hello there, and welcome to my channel, Novice Modelling in a Midlife Crisis. My name is Andy, and today we're doing a What's in the Box kit review video, which is number 291 in the series. So there's plenty more for you to go and have a look at if you want to. There will be a link somewhere around here to the 172 kit reviews at the end of the vid. We're going to be having a look at the Hella kit number 80380, Junkers JU-52 3M. German transport aircraft. And we're going to have a look at the kit, the instructions, and I suppose whatever blurb that Hella provide for us. Now, this particular kit originates from a new tooling in 1979. As with most kits, it's had a series of reboxes and new decal updates, etc, etc. But I think the basic kit remains exactly the same as you got in the late 70s. So it was reboxed or had decals or both in 1985, 1988, 1999, 1997, 2012, 2018, 2019 and 2020. It's worth pointing out that Kovozdoy Prostiyov, otherwise known as KP for obvious reasons, also released a boxing of this exact same kit in 2018 and 2019. And for those of you that prefer other manufacturers for whatever reason, Airfix obviously do a version of this which was originally released in 1964 and seemed to be produced up until around about 2011, although I don't think they issue this as a new kit anymore, so you have to kind of look quite hard on eBay to find one of those. Italeri also produced a tooling of this in 1977, and that is happily still available as a new kit, as it was also released in 2024. Revell also borrowed the tooling from Italeri in 1987, and Testers also borrowed it off them in 1979. As far as I can tell, as far as 1/72 scales, this is pretty much the choice you've got for this rather famous aircraft. So it's Hella, Airfix, or Italeri pretty much, or you can get the Revell or a vintage Testers. So we'll have a look at what actually came with this kit, and it was kind of nice what you got with it. I've not seen this sort of thing before. Instead of the traditional plastic bag, it came with tissue paper, which is go for the environment. I like that, and this was bought brand new, by the way. It comes with quite a reasonably nice colour booklet, instruction wise. I kind of like this though. It comes with a little Hella Aviation catalogue, which it's kind of done like Top Trumps, if you remember that card game. Have a lot of their current offering in recent years, which is a nice little touch to throw in. And I must admit, I'm going to actually use this. It's a one of these door hanging cards, and it says, "Come in, let me show you my model kits." It's kind of apt for me, and it says, "Keep out, model building in progress." So I really like that. It's pretty cool. Price wise for these, I paid £19.99 with the postage included, so it's a 20 quid kit, easily available on eBay. Italeri and Airfix kits, they tend to go for anywhere sort of between £15 and £30, and if you want to go for the really vintage Airfix ones, some people are trying to sell that boxed for 40 quid or whatever. Now this kit does differ obviously slightly from the Italeri and Airfix options, because Airfix, the standard kit, which I had when I was a kid, I must admit it was one of my favourite aircraft, actually comes with floats, so you can turn it into a float plane, basically. The Italeri, I have also seen it with floats, and I've also seen it with the Minesweeper ring underneath it as well. So there's a couple of versions alternate to this with slightly more bits available, but we can assume that all these kits are going to be free of resin parts, 3D parts, and photo etch, I think. So let's have a look at this kit. And obviously, as I'm sure you're aware, it's made of a sort of corrugated metal. So what we're looking at here is the fuselage. So as we can see, it's pretty big. I'm sure you already knew that. This one does actually come with the cargo bay holding as well, because it's optional as a ambulance, I think, as well. although it doesn't come with any decals for that, or obviously just a standard sort of cargo version. So let's get a bit of a close-up here. Remember, it's a 1970s kit, so a lot of these panel lines are going to be raised and not inverted like we would possibly prefer them to be. But they're quite nice and quite fine, so that's fine with me. The door, it's got its hinges and handle, looks pretty good. And it's going up to the tail. You can see all the workings of the rudder there. This is a double-sided rudder, so it does require sticking together. We've got a couple of ailerons on either side, which are double-sided, no sticking together there. Oh yeah, we've got a load of detail on the interior of this as well. It's sort of tubing for the airframe, which is quite nice. And I'm assuming if you wanted to, you could actually cut this out because it's got the framing for an open version as well. So that's a pretty nice touch. What else can we see? I'm not too sure what this piece is here. And we've got the floor for the whole of the fuselage. So there's the pilot's seat bases, and we've got some rudimentary looking pedals there as well. And there's no detail. No, there's some slight detail on the floor. Can I get that in picture? You just about see it there, can't you? So it's like got steel metal plates for the flooring, which is nice. So that's our first big sprue out of the way. And we've got is this an upper section of the wing? I think this is going to be the upper section of the wing. So we've got a load of access panels there into the wing. And we can see quite detail there, that corrugated finish. And there's our ailerons. They've got quite big sort of filled gaps in there, haven't they? Maybe they should have put those as glue-on ones. And here we have parts of the tail surface. Again, this corrugated sort of feature runs right the way through the kits. There's the control surfaces. So we've got some more ailerons here as well. So it's obviously got two that go to the attach somewhere around here. And a couple of control points here. I think these are for attaching the ailerons to the wings. I think that's what they're for. We'll find out later on when we do the instructions. And we have this central piece here, which is the base for the underneath of the fuselage and attachments to the wings. Now I seem to recall on my Airfix one that I had when I was a kid that there was a turret, a sort of I think they call it a dustbin turret, which was kind of lowered from the bottom here and had a machine gun in it. I think that was just for the sort of earlier versions, but obviously you don't get that. You don't get that. We've got three pieces of engine, three sorts of other pieces of engine, and more engine parts here. So it's a three-piece engine to go together. Here we have the engine housing. This looks like more engine housings there as well. Don't know what that is. We'll find out on the instructions. Could that be part of the rear gun mounting, maybe? Not sure. Another wing here. This is the top of the fuselage. And we have the rear-facing turret here as well. And there's the mounting points for our ailerons. So that is the upper surface, I'm thinking. That must be the upper surface. So the other wings we look at was the lower surface. We have three two-bladed propellers, wheels with some quite nice detail on them. They're all right. There's no tread on the tyres, whether that's correct or not, I don't know. There's the control panel for the cockpit, which, well, looks pretty good actually. We've got some wheel mountings here. A couple of pilot seats, which are different for some reason. These look like exhaust manifolds. That's an aerial. Quite a nice rear wheel. It's probably going to be the rear machine gun. There's the rear machine gun's turret. A couple of other bits of, oh, that's the control sticks. Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, okay. Now we move on to the glaze parts. And as we can see, the glaze parts are quite large. So that's going to aid with gluing easiness. There's our cockpit canopy cover, or cockpit window, whatever you want to call it. This little piece here is obviously for the rear machine gun position. Got a little porthole, I think that's going to be just behind the rear door. A couple of other windows. That's about it for the parts. That doesn't look too hard, does it? We have a nice decal sheet with a yellow band happily provided, so we don't have to bother trying to paint it. And we've got some unit details there with a cow on them. Kind of interesting. Let's have a look at our instruction book. Okay, let's just read that bit of blurb out. The prototype JU-52 first flew on the 13th of October 1930, powered by a single engine, the Junkers L88, running at 800 horsepower. In 1931, the chief engineer of Junkers, Dr. Zindel, developed a tri-motor plane called the JU-52 3M. The JU-52 was used as a civilian aircraft mainly by Lufthansa, but secretly at the same time it was provided to the Luftwaffe as a transporter and bomber. Its first operational use was in the Spanish Civil War, which we're doing at the moment, building some kits. The JU-52 took part in nearly all of the German campaigns of the Second World War. It was a common sight over all battlefronts from Russia to North Africa. After the war, the JU-52 was used by several countries, including France, where it was rechristened the Toucan. Okay, instructions. I've had a quick nose of these, look kind of simple. So there we go, we've got the interior of the fuselage with 3 bulkheads, which I didn't show you. Where the hell were they? Where's them bulkheads? There they are. I forgot about that. So they've got some nice detail on them as well. One with double door on it. That one there. And that one's obviously the cockpit one with some instruments on it. Sorry about that, I forgot. So there we go. There's the cockpit and transportation area. A load of paints on here for Raval, that's kind of handy, showing us what to do. We've got the engine going together here. So there's 1 and 2, showing exactly what paints to paint it in. I like that idea. And then we have the front engine as well. So now we're going to turn our attention to putting the fuselage together in section 5. So as you can see, we've got the floor, we've got the 2 sides and the ceiling, cockpit canopy. Obviously we need to remember to put our windows in, that's kind of important. I've forgotten to put those in or something before. And we have the base of the fuselage here. Quite a lot going on in each window. Whoa, what's going on here? This is section 6, so we're going to put the engines on. Something to go underneath. Put the tail surfaces together. And put our ailerons on. And fix one undercarriage. There's a hell of a lot going on in that section. And then section 7 we're finished. Wow, that was quick. What we got here? So we got the colouring for Alamein JU-52 3M. École de pilotage of Sans Vestibule. So I'm thinking this is based somewhere in France. In 1938. Don't know. It's probably just the French translation. So École is school. So I'm thinking this is a flying school maybe. I'm not 100% certain. If somebody can translate that, that'd be great. I probably should have done that already, but I forgot. Pretty standard. So there we go. Kind of a nice looking vintage-y type kit. For those that you watch me quite a bit, you probably know that I kind of like the smaller nations of the Second World War era. And obviously the JU-52 flew for pretty much all over Europe for the sort of German allied nations, that you could call them, or satellites. They were also flown, obviously captured units who were actually flown by the British, Americans and the Russians as well, because it was a pretty solid aircraft, even if it was a bit old and a bit slow. So probably in the future I will try and endeavour to get hold of an Italeri and an Airfix. We might do some kit comparisons, and obviously I'll be painting these up in a few different colours at some future point. Whether we do a German one or not, I'm not 100% certain. I probably will do, because the one that I had was German when I was a kid, and my original thought of when I started doing the channel was to actually replicate the kits that I had when I was younger, this is something we might do again. I had about 25, so I'm sure we can find most of them. So thanks very much for watching and listen to me ramble off on a tangent there. Please do like and subscribe, and drop us a thumbs up as well if you like. And we'll be back probably tomorrow with another video. So as always, be seeing you.